there, I'm Dr. Jacqueline Chassie, VP of Medical Education at Emerson Ecologics, and I'm here today with my colleague, Michelle Strasburger. Michelle is the VP of Talent Engagement at Emerson, and we are both working moms on the executive team and home right now with our kids, trying to still be productive in a busy work environment. Thanks for joining me, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
So you can see from Michelle's gorgeous location, she's retreated to a house like on the Canadian border where there's no one else to even run into if you wanted to, but there's also nowhere to send your kids to get out of the way in the cabin. So, we wanted to share some tips about how to be as productive as you possibly can while you're working at home right now, if you're a working parent. And I think one thing to just frame it up to keep in mind, so I do work from home often for Emerson. This is different. This is being at home during a pandemic with your kids and probably your spouse and trying to get work done. And that's a very different scenario from working from home and locking yourself in an office where you can get things done. So let's just frame this up and say, my first recommendation would be take some pressure off of yourself because we're all really doing the best we can.
Yeah, I've had to do that in the first couple of weeks. I told a friend, I said, I can be a really good employee and I can be a really good mom, but I can't do both at the same time. And that for me was hard because I enjoy being both of those. It's just really hard to do it at the same time. So I think you have to cut yourself some slack.
Yeah, I found the same thing. And I think I, live a busy lifestyle, but I really try my hardest to be 100% present with whatever I'm working on. And that allows me to kind of segment and like be that mom as best I can be or be the employee as best I can be. But when you're trying to do both at the same time, it doesn't even feel like a 50-50 split sometimes.
No.
So what are the strategies that you've employed? So you've got two sons. Maybe share a little bit about the ages of your children.
Yeah, I'm lucky because my oldest is 9, and so he's a little bit more independent, but he's also now doing remote learning. And I'm far from an educator, so it's a good challenge. And then my youngest is 3, so he's a busy toddler, but my oldest is a really good brother and tends to help out quite a lot. And I don't know if everybody has that bond, so I'm lucky there.
Mm-hmm. And I have 4 children at home. My 2 older sons are 10 and 7, and then I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. So again, have an older sibling who is doing a lot more kind of babysitting than he's ever done before, and trying to just get through. So what are some of the key tactics, Michelle, that you've figured out to be able to have time like this dedicated to sitting in front of a camera with me uninterrupted, and what's working well for you?
You take advantage of nap times. Take advantage of the schedule in the day where the kids are either napping or engaged in schoolwork or reading or doing something where you can step away. I've also had very honest conversations with my sons that mommy still has to work and this is my work time, and when I'm here I'm on the phone and you have to wait. Sometimes that's not always feasible, but I've also learned to build in breaks throughout the day. So usually, and you've seen my calendar, it's usually back to back. And so I've gotten more intentional about making sure I'm taking breaks. And so I'll take a lunch break and go outside with the kids so that they get the time too, because it's hard for them to understand that I'm sitting there doing work and not paying attention to them.
That's a great idea. We have done the breaks, which is really helpful, trying to get outside on the days that we can, which is great. And I think the other thing that we've really relied upon is some new activities. I'll share a link to some different resources here, but like one website I found really helpful is called busytoddler.com, and they have it's a blog, and there's a ton of great ideas for young kids. This morning, for example, I had 30 minutes uninterrupted by putting I had like toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls that we taped to the wall, and I gave the kids a bunch of pom-poms and bowls and scoops, and they played with those, the little kids played with those for probably 30 minutes uninterrupted. So it's giving them a new activity and finding like those pockets where you can just be as productive as you can. Yeah.
We did that too. We went for a walk this weekend as a family and we collected some rocks. And so the other night they were painting rocks and I could step away and get a couple of things done.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think finding resources for, new activities you can do that aren't expensive and don't require new toys to buy and things like that are really key. What about for your older son? Any big tips for that kind of school age, elementary school age group?
It's hard. I've been pushing, relying a lot on his teacher because I'm not an educator, like I said. I'm lucky my mother is an educator, and so is my mother-in-law. And so when we get stuck, I'll sometimes call them and they'll help out, or my mom will jump on a video. They can't be here, but they will jump on a video chat and kind of walk him through it. And sometimes it's easier because they can explain it differently than I can.
Hmm. That's great. Yeah.
And I've been looking at other tools like ABC Mouse and Adventure Academy. And Clayton's at that age where they're learning state capitals. So we've downloaded Stack the States. And those keep him really engaged and he's having fun and learning at the same time.
Mhm. Yeah, finding those things is really key. And certainly, I have not been ashamed to put on the television for an important meeting time, knowing, I don't want the kids sitting in front of the TV all day, but I do give myself a bit of grace if I have an important hour where I know I need to really be uninterrupted to put on something that I know will keep their attention for like 30 minutes or the hour that I need. Not something that I would love to do often. And I kind of, as like a natural health mama, I try to do as little as possible with that, but right now we need it and we're all doing what we have to do to get by.
And you can't beat yourself up about it. I've joked that, thank goodness for the Xbox every once in a while.
Exactly. And I think the other big tip that I would share for parents out there is prep all the snacks in the beginning of the day or the night before. That's made a huge difference for us because until I was home all day with the kids, I didn't realize like just how much food I prepared. And people were always asking me for something, can I have a snack? Can I have a cheese stick? Can I have a cup of water? Whatever it is. So we actually moved all of the kids' dishes from the upper cabinet to a lower cabinet so the kids could self-serve the dishes. And then also I've prepped all of the snacks and stuff for the day and their lunches ahead of time to be able to allow them to get that themselves without needing to ask me for so many things. And that has remarkably saved me a lot of distraction. So that has been another big tip I've learned that's been really helpful.
That's a great tip. We've been prepping lunches on Sunday, so we have them and I can just grab them and sit down and eat lunch together so I don't spend the whole time preparing food.
Awesome. Well, there's so many great resources out there now, like educational apps. And like I think a lot of school districts now are really stepping it up after knowing that we're going to be home for a while. It's like a little bit longer of a haul, providing more resources. And I think the biggest takeaway I have for parents is, like we said, like just don't beat yourself up. This is an unusual time. It's not an easy time. And hopefully most employers can relate to the fact that productivity might be slightly down, or if not, you might need more flexibility with the hours that you're working in order to get things done. And I know like we're in an environment where we're still really busy. Things have not slowed down for our business and we're all at home trying to make it work. And yeah, sometimes that's at 11 o'clock at night, or really early in the morning. And you've got to kind of bend and flex that, or you hear dogs barking, or you hear children in the background of a conference call. But I think everyone is trying to take it with a little bit of lightheartedness and, a time that we'll always remember.
Right. And I think people are saying that families are going to come out stronger after this, that you're going to get more connected because the times that you do get together uninterrupted are going to be really valuable.
Yeah, let's hope for that. And so let's try to find those sweet pockets of family time too, where we're getting to enjoy the fact that we have more time with our family than ever.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Any final
Thank
tips
you.
that you want to drop?
I would also just say create some boundaries when you can. So at the end of the workday, sometimes it's easy to get up and start working, and easy to work late through the night. But set boundaries, like you're going to work at 8:30 or whatever time you usually come to work, if you can do that, and then shut off at a certain time and when you're shut off from work, you can be fully engaged with your family. I think that's really going to be valuable and important.
Great tip. Well, thank you guys, everyone. Hang in out there. Like I said, take some pressure off your shoulders, knowing that everybody's really doing the best they can, and pat yourself on the back for keeping so many balls in the air and laughing at yourself when they drop to the floor occasionally.